Yeah, welcome to another episode of 20 Minutes by Noco. Hello, Yar. How are you doing today?
Hey Ian, happy to be here. Happy to be here. How are you
All
doing?
right. I'm doing well, a little bit low on sleep, time, and energy with everything that's going on in my life.
Congrats on the
Just
newborn.
became, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Happy to be a father. It's great, great time. Just exhausting, especially with us moving to a new house and renovating it and working. So, in hindsight, I could have timed it a little bit better, probably. But hey, what do? You live and you learn.
Yeah.
Always fun to dive into some stuff here with you in this 20 minutes episode. And I think today we want to talk about frameworks a little bit, right? So, what are the frameworks that are typically used to build a Webflow website? Couple of notable ones: the Lumos framework, of course, the client first framework. A lot of people probably heard about it. So, can you explain to us what are the pros and cons for each framework? What is sort of the background? What is sort of the purpose of each framework? You know what? What is actually the purpose of a framework for a Webflow build? Let's start there and educate us a little bit.
Yeah, so frameworks is more of a way of naming your structure in the website and also a way of structuring how you build the website. So we know that Webflow uses this box model. It has this, you basically put divs inside divs in a box manner. So this can get messy. There are a lot of boxes. You don't know what's what. So a framework comes in, names everything, puts a structure to the website, to each section, to each part of the website, and then this helps with scaling the website. This helps other developers work on the website. This helps the website being SEO friendly, accessible, and so on. Google does gives score on best practices, and that does include a proper framework structure. Um, Famous framework in development in general is like, for example, Tailwind is a very famous framework in development. Maybe the Eli 5 team uses framework. I'm sure it's a very famous one. And this is mainly like I said, it's to name and structure the website or how the website is built. Now on Webflow, since we have a very visual way of building website, um, frameworks came in from big companies like Finsweet, created the client-first framework. It was a very simple framework that is focused really on clients. The naming was very, they use words instead of like Tailwind, for example. If you want to put a padding top, you would write PT and then you write a number, which kind of it's understandable by developers, but if someone who's not a developer sees that, get confused. However, when they made client first, the focus was naming things in a simple way so that everyone can understand what this is, even though if if the name is a bit long, just make sure that we have an understanding of what the element is doing and what this box is doing. Client first came in many years ago, around like I think 2018, 2019. It came up, and then other frameworks also came in play. Saddle, there was a framework called Saddle. Also, many frameworks came into play. However, the ones that really kicked off was Client First and another one called Lumos. Now, the Lumos
Yeah.
framework is done by a member in the community. It's a very advanced framework. It's really advanced. It uses the most up-to-date technology from Webflow. It does have a naming system that might be a bit complex and might need a little bit of a learning curve. However, once you get that, it's really scalable, very easy to scale the website, very easy to build more, very accessible, very SEO friendly. But the only issue was that this framework keeps updating itself and they keep sending an update. I've learned this framework like 3 times now. It's good. Again, it's a very advanced framework. It's super good, super advanced. Uses the most up to date technology. However, there is a very long time or a very high learning curve each time I want to use this framework. I kind of got frustrated the last time, so I made a LinkedIn post and wanted to see the opinions of others about this. And a lot of, especially the agencies that work in teams, or that agencies that also sometimes outsource their development or parts of their development, they always say client first is the best. Client first, like one person said, I learned client first, and I still use it because it's still the same. It didn't change. And everyone I talk to knows client first. Everyone in the Webflow community knows client first. Clients also are happy with client first because, again, it's very easily named. Things are very structured. However, the Lumos framework, even though more advanced, builds advanced websites, but very, very hard to learn. And then if you calculate it on the long term, it's a very it can be a liability because you're spending so many hours learning it every time.
Especially for clients, right? Because can you, so first of all, you mentioned a couple of times now that Lumos is an advanced framework compared to client first. Can you point out what makes it more advanced? What is different about it?
So it uses some sort of like calculations in the way it does spacings. So for example, if there's like a spacing, it does a calculation based on a grid system, based on the column system. It is kind of like how advanced designers design with this 12 grid system. Make sure everything is within the grid, and then there's a calculation to make things responsive. And this makes it really advanced. Like once you get those calculations, once you get the formulas, it's really easy to make everything responsive. However, they're complex formulas that, now they're super complex to the point that you cannot like actually get it right away. You use some AI, or in the case of Lumos, they made their own app. Just so that you can translate the calculations to normal pixels, which we use in Figma and the design world. So this brings in, it's advanced, but it complicates it a little bit. In my opinion, I think client first, because the client first is kind of like, it touches the surface and it allows you to customize on top of it. So for the client, if the client is looking for a scalable website on a huge scale, you can customize the client first framework for the specific project, and then have all the features that you could have, let's say, in Lumos, or all these calculations, however, in a custom way for the specific project. In my opinion, this could take the same time as, let's say, learning the Lumos framework and then applying it.
Right.
You might as well just apply a custom framework for the client, and I'm sure the client will not, after all, the client looks for a good website, good accessible website, does a good score, I can scale it, I can easily work with it. What framework we choose maybe is not like one of the first priorities when clients ask for it. However, there are these hours that we spend on these frameworks, and these hours are valuable, that can be spent on optimizing more of the website or building the website even in a faster manner. And this is where I see it.
So when we at Noco are at the start of a project for, say, a SaaS company, right? What are the criteria that would make you choose one or the other framework? I mean, do you guys look at the type of customer, the type of team that they have, the degree to which they want to be self-sufficient with managing the website? What are the criteria you look at in such a case?
So most of these frameworks do cover the same criteria. Like let's say a client first versus Lumos. I can build any website with client first, and I can build the same website with Lumos. When it comes to development, now if there's a development team behind the project, then they might even opt for something like, again, Tailwind, where it's numbers and letters, which they understand better. And it's for them to be able to work with after all. So here you won't even use any of those frameworks. If the client is looking for something simple, in my opinion, client first is a bit easier because, again, you have the simple namings, you understand what's what. And then it falls back to the developer's preference. If the developer prefers using Lumos or using client first or using a custom thing, even some developers make their own custom frameworks or style guide and they use it. Some companies even do that within their own work. They just make their own framework and they adapt to it all their projects. For example, Edgar Allen has their own framework, Edgar Allen agency, and they adapt all their websites on this framework, which I think is also a scalable thing, since this is something that you can teach your team easily. You can easily onboard the client. It's something that doesn't need to change every time, or doesn't need to have that many updates between each client and the other, or between each team member and the other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I also heard of a project that we were doing where you guys were applying the Lumos framework, but then you got one of those infamous updates
Yeah.
coming right in the middle of the development process. So what did that look like? Sort of what was the consequence for you guys when that update popped up?
Yeah, exactly. I've I remember also one of the comments on the post I made was that by the time I
Yeah,
start,
pull it up. Pull
yeah,
your
we can
LinkedIn post up, man. Let's share your screen.
pull it up. So here I posted,
There it is.
I'm sticking with client first, not because Lumos is bad. It's actually very smart, modern, and scalable. The problem is that it changes too much. Every few months there is a new update, a new rule, a new best practice. That's exciting if you're testing in a sandbox. It's a headache if you're managing client sites, training teams, or maintaining internal workflows. Client first has something Lumos doesn't, which is stability, very important. The naming convention I learned years ago still works today. Freelancers and team members can onboard in minutes. Everyone knows this framework. I can hand over a project without a 10-pager explainer of how this new update works.
Yeah.
And people interacted. A lot of people said this is a drawback. Like, for example, these guys are Ampli. They said it's a drawback. In a way, client first biggest weakness is one of its strengths as well, which is not updating that often. Other people recommended other frameworks like Saddle, which is a newer framework, might be a bit better. I didn't try it for myself yet,
Yeah,
but
Saddle jumped on the opportunity to
yeah,
brand themselves a little bit there. Yeah, very nice.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
a lot of
new
people.
recommended
Yeah,
it. Yeah, it's
yeah, but a lot
seems
of people also seem to agree with you here.
yeah. So client first consistency, time saver. It takes a long time to set up. During the time it takes to set up Lumos, I can develop a landing page. Matt Evans.
That's a hard one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so most
Okay.
people were like agreeing because it is a liability. I mean, this is time, valuable time, dev time that most of these guys or developers, they get paid by the hour, and these are hours that go away on learning a new update.
Sure.
In our
Yeah,
example, in our project, yeah,
Finsweet even chimed in, right?
yeah, Finsweet, they're working on a new version of Client First based on community feedback. It's in beta. I checked it out. They have this version 2.2. So their idea as well to make a new update, which hasn't happened in years. So they're making a new update to adapt the new features from Webflow, like variables and components, which is great. However, when they do that, they do it least often, and they make so many videos about it, so many tutorials, so much documentations, which makes it way easier to adapt. Now, for example, what happened with our project, we used, when we started the project, we used the framework. It was version 2.0.9 or something like that. And then the tutorials that were there on this, like about the frameworks, were about the previous version, which was 2.0.8. And then by the time we're like mid-project, 2.1 came out, and it's a new update. Like, it's a big update, new videos, new content. The app works differently, and so we had to adapt the old one, and then, because we're already built, like, we're already customized, we already set it up, and then we had to adapt to the new one, and find the differences, learn it yet again in the midst of the project. So it wasn't even the beginning. Like, we're in the middle. We had to learn it one more time, which we already did in the beginning. I find it a bit not very friendly, especially if you're an agency and if you're running multiple projects. You need speed, you need efficiency, you have teams that get on board. Having such a, every time you have to learn how to do it is, I don't think it's that sustainable on the big scale.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Especially when you have these out of the blue updates that
Yeah,
yeah, they just come out of nowhere basically and just disrupt your whole project, and also basically the your hourly your hours budget, right? Because that's basically what you have to just throw in a lot of hours in there that were not scoped for that project, and then yeah, I got you. So will
yeah.
that hold you off from using Loomis for a new project?
I mean, hopefully, like the Lumos people do get this feedback and understand
Yeah,
that, at least, like you said, it doesn't have to happen suddenly. Like, at least give us a heads up. Okay, I'm changing this in a few months. So, like, if you're using it, just have a heads up.
yeah, that
You
would be
know,
nice.
more, think about the teams and the people that would use the framework. Uh, on the other hand, I'm sticking to client first. I mean, that's first line in my post.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with client first.
yeah,
Again, I
yeah,
think
yeah.
client first is there's a bigger team behind it as well. Community support is there. Um, I would still choose client first over Loomis.
All right. Thanks for this, and very good to get some education on this. All right, let's move to something else, Yar, because probably your favorite day or days of the years are coming up, right? So other people celebrate Christmas and look forward to that for a whole year, but not for you
Yeah,
because you're already sharing it. That's great. Um,
celebrating Webflow Conf.
not for you. This is your Christmas, right? This is your magical moment of the year.
I'm super excited.
All right, my
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry I jumped in, but I'm super excited for this.
yeah.
It's gonna be
Okay,
my
well,
Christmas really.
yeah. Let's hear it, man. So, what are some of the notable announcements in terms of the guests, the speaker lineup? Uh, is there anything changed in the conference concept compared to the last 2 years? And of course, most importantly, what kind of feature updates are you expecting?
Yeah. So
Floor is yours.
the conference, I mean, this time seems like they cut it shorter. Last
Mm,
year it was in multiple cities. I think it was in 3 cities: San Francisco, New York, and London. This year it's only in New York, and of course the online you can chime in online.
yeah,
Um, they weird enough they have been updating or sending very very big updates even before the conference, which makes you think
yeah,
that they might send even bigger updates during the conference. I've
or
made yeah, go ahead.
or not at all,
Or not
or it
at
will
all.
be a major disappointment.
I really hope not, but yeah, could be. I mean, they have been changing the team. They have been changing more of how the developers are, the community teams, the managers, and the social community. So there has
Yep,
been changes in Webflow itself. However, I do expect some new features, some updates, especially in regards to AI.
yeah,
But my hopes are not that high. Again, but I'm excited. I'm really excited. This time it's like, is it gonna be great? Is it not gonna be great? I don't know. One of the notable speakers who's gonna be there is Seth Godin.
yeah. I spotted
Um,
that. That's great.
yeah, so this guy is like a marketing genius, SEO genius. So probably there will be some SEO updates, some marketing features that we'll see, some new market SEO features as well that we'll see on Webflow. So this is very expected. Other from that, yeah, AI is gonna be the star of the show this time, and I'm very much
Yeah,
looking
well,
forward. It's in 2 weeks.
yeah, but that's my question, right? Or more something that I ask myself, like AI. Everybody needs to jump in on the AI bandwagon. Everybody needs to implement features that at least they can label as AI. I'm just very curious to know how Webflow is going to do this, and if they don't overshoot themselves a little bit by having to put some AI in there that just doesn't hit the spot. So I'm really like, what in your expectation, like what would be the most obvious, you know, part of Webflow where they would implement AI? What would be your main, what would be the biggest value creator when it comes to AI? Like short term, quick win.
I mean, they did try. They did try to do this. They published some AI
Yeah.
features, not very successful, to be honest.
No.
There were features where it builds for you. You know, you go prompt and it builds for you. However, it
Yeah.
was super limited. You build from certain template, just like 2, 3 templates. That's the only ones you can use. Very limited.
Yep.
Um, what I think they would do is perhaps not a fully AI structure where you can just prompt and it builds for you, but more like, okay, you can prompt some animations or you can prompt some
Mm.
specific features and it does it for you. Um,
Yeah.
Apart from that, again, I think they did try to go at it fast. They try to just put AI, something in AI, but
Yeah.
that didn't pay off that well. There has been as well, like even the community is saying like, instead of you guys focusing on making like cool AI features, how about we just like make the platform really really efficient, you know. um, Make the features, our features, really efficient. I mean, we do have some features that are limited that need some update, so if we make those more efficient, if the developer or the team focuses on that rather than AI, then it can help us as Workflow developers, as Workflow users, to enjoy the platform more. I mean, um, since they released the MCP, I mean, AI could be easily integrated. You can easily like use your website with an AI, connect it somehow.
Yeah.
However, I do need a good Webflow features. I do need a good Webflow platform to work with this.
That's the
We've
thing,
had,
right? Like in this market jar, I mean, everybody needs it almost as some sort of a marketing ploy, right? They just need to just ship features that are AI
mhm,
or AI driven. But the in reality, like a platform like Webflow, and this goes for many other, you know, software products, they could just as well double down on the existing features and make them better and smarter.
yeah,
And that would probably be add more value. But then you miss out on the whole, you know, the exposure that you get with, you know, AI labeled to your name, and that is kind of the trap, right? That's kind of the where they caught in between marketing and doing stuff that the user actually needs at this moment, and that is often not AI. It's just better features.
exactly, exactly. I think the same, and focusing on the platform, perhaps just like they did, for example, with the animation. You focus on your
Yeah.
platform and then get the animation library, which was GSAP. It was the most common animation library. So we get that animation library, we just integrate it. We don't have to invent the wheel from scratch. It's
You're
already
right.
there. People prefer it. Bring it. So with AI, I think as well, it should be something like this. So you don't have to invent AI from scratch. You know, it's already invented. It's already out there. What you have
Yeah.
to focus on is the Webflow platform, which is what we love, what we like to use. Um, and AI can always be there to help us on other platforms.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think that's very well put. So back to the Webflow conference. What will be your ritual here? So will you stay up all night? I'm not even sure about the time zone.
Yeah.
What are typically the things that you want to watch? Like which type of speakers? How do you make your selection, basically?
So there are a few speakers that I'm very excited to see. Webbay with Keegan Larry. Um, and yeah, there's also the people from Lumos who are going to be there. We're going to see those.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, Ilya, Ilya Van Eck, who from
Yeah,
Osmo. He's going to be doing. I'm really excited to
that's
see
nice,
this
man.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, these
Workflow
guys
interactions.
they built a very nice platform with all the goodies that you get in your email. These guys
Yeah,
did a great job. Yeah,
they're
nice,
awesome. Yeah, so and Keegan Larry here he is, and he'll be talking about GSAP. So
nice.
yeah, probably gonna be spending an all nighter here, watching watching it since it's in New York time and I'm in Barcelona, so it's definitely gonna be a time
Yep.
difference. But
Yeah,
super
that
excited to
I'm
see
sure
all
it
of them,
will.
like to know more about all of them. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I still have to dive into the program and make a good selection. You know, probably I'll wake up like three times a night anyway now with with the baby girl that we got. So I might be able to have a win-win here, like changing diapers and then
Yeah,
also seeing some cool Webflow updates. So it's September 17 and 18, right?
exactly. So it's September 17, 18. We can
Yeah,
watch it at webflowconf.com. Super exciting. I
absolute.
think
So
our
if you're,
next 20 minutes will be about this and
yeah,
what just came out of it.
would you definitely you should probably do it with Daniel or with Daniel and myself, so you have more to talk about in detail. But yeah, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on what will be announced, hopefully, and hopefully they will pleasantly surprise us, and we can yeah, we can serve our B2B SaaS customers even better with the features they have and make them more self-sufficient in ways. And lesson learned about the Lumos updates,
Yes.
I guess. So shout out to them as well. But thanks, Jar, for this update. Let's get this one live and see you next time, whenever that may be.
Awesome. Happy to be here and excited for the next one.
Yes, sir. All right. Talk soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.